Hi guys, Melissa here with TCT Crafts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our channel. Today I'm super excited. We are going to be making an over-the-top, pretty large Christmas, winter, woodlands swag design. So let me show you what we're going to be designing today. I hope you guys enjoy this video. This is a large swag design that we're going to be making today using these really cute gift boxes from Hobby Lobby. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you have not already liked and subscribed, please sure to do so. Click that little notification bell, and every time we have a new video, you will get notified. So let's get started. Okay, for this design, we're going to be using a 36, let me make sure. Yes, a 36-inch Teardrop Swag. So this one is flocked. This is going to be a large design. So if you don't want one this big, you can do a 32-inch. You could do a 24-inch. So just get whatever size Teardrop Swag that you want to use. I'm going to make this one large because of some of the elements we got in there. So let's get started. I'm going to add just a little bit of mesh. So I'm just using this natural, and I'm just going to roll it up. We're just going to add a few in here just as filler. So this is going to be a winter, like woodlands design. It can be hung all year, Christmas time. So I'm just going to go through and add a few of these curls in here, just as a little bit of filler. That's the nice thing about doing the winter Christmas designs, is we love to have all the greenery showing, so we don't have to use as much mesh. And I do not measure my mesh. So if this is your first time watching, I would encourage you to go back to some of my other videos and see how I cut my mesh. If I was to guess, it's probably, 20, 22 inches. It really just depends. Like I said, I don't measure. I just hold it up and cut. So let's add a couple more. I think I'm going to get one over here on the side. I'll get one on this other side. So there's no rhyme or reason of where I'm putting these. I'm just finding some spots. And this one is twisted up, so let's see. Get a different one. There we go. And then let's do maybe 2 at the bottom. Okay, one more. We might come back and add one more up at the top. Let's add one more. Let's add maybe 2 more up at this top part. Like one on this side and one on this side. So you can see how I just pull it up and I just cut. I don't measure. So let's do one up here on this side, and we'll do one more on the other side, and that will be it on the mesh. So this is what we have some mesh just as filler. We still have a lot of the greenery showing. So I used about a half a roll, maybe a little bit more than a half a roll of this 10-inch mesh. Okay, now let's add in, we're going to start before we add our big pieces. I want to get some base greenery going. So I'm going to add a little bit more. This one is pretty full already. It was a nice swag, had already a lot of greenery in it. So we may not need to use as much as I brought, but if you have one that's a little bit cheaper that doesn't have as many of the pine ties, you may have to use more picks and sprays just to get the fullness that you want. But this one was pretty full. So because we're doing kind of the Woodlands design, I'm going to leave those pine cones in there. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut this tag off. And I will cut the stem down. I don't need it that long. So I just kind of spread the branches out. I want this to come up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take and we're going to zip tie this in, but just to hold this, I'm going to take and tie 2 of these pipe cleaners around it. And then we'll come back and zip tie it in a second. Okay, so I have that one going up. The rest I'm going to go down. And again, I don't need the stem that long. And again, I'm going to take 2 pine ties and tie this in, and then we'll zip tie in a second. Okay, I'm going to get 1 more. And again, if you wanted to keep this a little bit less expensive, you wouldn't necessarily have to add as much greenery because, like I said, this one already has quite a bit of greenery in it. Okay, I'm going to cut this one down. I'm going to make sure I didn't have the price tag on it. Okay. I'm going to go right up in here, tie that. So now we kind of have our base. So now let's go ahead and zip tie these in. I'm going to go up the top, and I'm just going to zip tie it around the spine of that swag. And then we can go in and add a little bit of glue too, once we get this tied in. My bracelet's getting caught on this. There we go. Okay, let's go in right here where we started that second one. Zip tie that in. If you don't want to use zip ties, you can use pipe cleaner. And then let's go down towards the bottom here where we tied this last one in. Okay. Now let's add a little bit of glue in there. All right, so now we have our base. Okay, let's add our big elements now. We're going to use these fuzzy little gift ornaments from Hobby Lobby. I made a design with this last year. I just think they're so cute. So we're going to add 2 of these. We're going to add one kind of right here. And then we're going to add another one. Kind of going the opposite way, like right in this area. So let's get our first one down. I'm going to glue it, and then we're going to use some floral pins. So I'm just going to add a bunch of glue. Kind of push it down like that. I'm going to go around the sides. And then we're going to use some floral pins and take and pin like some of these little pine ties. Okay, hopefully we're back. We lost power for a second. So let's pick up where we left off. So right here, I'm going to take some of these floral pins, just these little floral pins, and we're going to take in, because this is foam, I'm just going to push that in there, add a little bit of glue. We're going to take another one, I'm going to go on the other side. I'm just pinning this present to these pine ties and adding some glue. Let's get one at the bottom. And we're going to just take that mesh. And that way, this is not going to go anywhere between the glue that we have and the floral pins. It should be pretty secure. I'm going to add a little bit more glue just around the edges. Okay, so we got our first one in. Let's get this one added. I want it kind of like sitting like this. And we'll like try to pin these two. But let's go ahead and get the glue on the bottom here. Hold that for a second and put another glue stick in. Okay. I'm going to glue these together. I'm going to take a pin and just push those together like that. Add some glue. I'll come around on the other side and do it as well. taking the pin and I'm poking it in between both of those. And then adding some glue so this pin does not come out. Then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this present and I'm just going to pin it to some of this greenery and add some glue so it does not come out. On this side, let's take this pine tie, stick it right in there. And then let's get down at the bottom. I'm going to take some of this mesh, just push it up in there. So that's the nice thing about getting these foam attachments. Just stick right in there. I'm going to do one more over on the side over here, I think. There we go. All right, so now we have our little presents in. I did bring some ribbon. I'm not sure if I want to add a bow or just keep this without, but I'm thinking maybe right here, a small, let's see. So I just have this Fair Silk. It's antique velvet with the white velvet, and it's got a little bit of the brown and the gold, so it kind of ties in nicely. This is just one I had from a couple of years ago. So let's see. I want to do a bow or just like some tails, or maybe a half bow. Let me just play with this a second. Okay, I have to take this bracelet off because I keep getting it caught on this greenery. I'm torn on if I want to just do like a half bow kind of to the side here. I kind of like that. Let's just do that. Okay, so I'm just going to make just a loop, pinch it in the middle. And we're going to keep one tail longer and one tail shorter. So let me see if I can find two ties here. I'm going to keep this tail longer so that it kind of hangs down for my swag. Before I glue that, I want to make sure, because I only have a little bit of this ribbon left. So we kind of got our little half bow, and I'm going to add this last little piece that I have up at the top, kind of as a tail. Yeah. I'm going to find two pine ties and just twist it. We'll add some glue in there. We'll cover that little nub up with something here in a little bit. But now I have our tail up top, I'm just going to, and we might actually even cut this a little bit. I don't think we need it that long. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it just a little bit. This isn't enough left to do anything with it, so we're just going to chunk it. So now I brought in just a little bit of ribbon down at the bottom, and then just a tail up at the top. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of glue down here where we tied that in. Okay, now let's add some of our cute little embellishments. So I brought these adorable little squirrel ornaments. These also came from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to cut the little string off of it. I have 2 of these, so let me kind of see where I want to place them. Kind of thinking one down here by the bow, but we also have some ornaments. Let me turn it this way because I think maybe right here in the middle, in between our ornaments, and I'll turn it around and show you, but I think that's going to work perfectly. So let me go ahead and add some glue on Mr. Squirrel there. Turn around and show you. So to kind of fill in the hole that we had where we put these 2 together, I just tucked him in there. Let's get our other one. I'm thinking up at the top somewhere, like maybe right above this present. I like that. And you can also take these are foam too, so we can take a floral pin and kind of attach him as well to our little present. Let me add some glue first and then we'll do that. I'm just going to add some glue. He's going to kind of sit right there. And then let's take another one of our little floral pins, and I'm just going to go right in the squirrel into our little present. And that way he will not go anywhere. Add some glue on that. There we go. So now we have our little squirrel at the top. Sorry, this design is going to get large, so it's going to be hard to keep it all in the camera for you guys. Do my best. Okay. Now let's add, I brought 2 different ornaments. So I brought these rustic little jingle bells. So when I add those, I'm going to cut the little string off. So I have 2 of the little rustic bells, and then I have 2 of this like grapevine ornament. So we'll use those as well. So this one, kind of thinking right in here, sort of tucked in by our little half bow. Now this is a little heavier, so we're probably going to need to tie this in. So let me add glue, and then we're going to maybe get a pipe cleaner. try to tie that in so it doesn't come out. Okay, let me see if I can weave this through. Actually, there's a let's see if I can get it more to the back so we don't see it. I probably should have done this before I glued it in. Yeah, there's a spot if I can get the pipe cleaner through towards the back here. I'm gonna have to add some more glue because I'm moving it around. We'll do this part first on the next one. Okay, so I found a little hole to the back and I'm just gonna tie it around one of these branches. And that'll just give it a little extra security. Okay, that's more glue. Add some glue all the way around that pipe cleaner. Let's add some more around this little ornament. Maybe just a little bit right here to kind of hold that ribbon on there. Okay, so we have one here. So I want one more up at the top. Thinking maybe right in this area. Okay, so let's get our pipe cleaner this time. You could also use like a floral wire. Do I have another pipe cleaner? I have a blue pipe cleaner, but that's not gonna match. Let me see if this will be enough, this little piece that I had. Maybe. Might be able to tie it around. I think it's gonna be too short. So we might be using let's use that wire I was telling you guys about. Make sure I don't have any more pipe cleaners. I do not, so I'm gonna need to bring some more pipe cleaners in here. Okay, so let's use some of this wire. Just gonna run it through. You can tie it right on there, on this branch. And just tie it really good and then we'll add glue. Okay. Get another glue stick. And I just use the Gorilla glue sticks. And I have found that I do not have a problem with my stuff falling off. So, knock on wood, this stuff works pretty good. So now we have our other ornament right up here. Okay, we've got two more. We have these little grapevine ball ornaments. I'm going to cut the string off. We'll figure out where we want to place them. And I typically like to work in threes, but I only had 2 of each, so we're just gonna make it work. So we have one here. I think we need one. Let's see. I think right up at the top underneath. And I'm gonna take this pine and see if I can twist it. There we go. So I'm just taking 2 of those pine branches and I just weaved it through there. And then we'll add glue. Maybe glue it to that little swirl there. Just gonna hold it for a second. I just think these woodland winter designs are so cute. You can use them all year. They're perfect for, you kind of got the rustic vibes, or I think like cabin. Super pretty. Okay, so we've got that one there. Let's do this one maybe on the other side, right here between our little ribbon, kind of like that. Now this one I don't really have a tie to hold it to, but we can use maybe one of these floral pins and attach it to our foam present. There we go. That'll work. Well, I don't want it to show, so let me see if I can hide it a little better. We have some greenery we're going to add too, so we can probably cover it up with that. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add glue all the way around this ornament. Okay. There we go. Now we have one here, one here. Okay, so those are all the ornaments I brought in. The next is going to be our greenery, which you could totally stop here. This is very pretty as it is. I just want to add a little bit more, but you could stop here and you have a really pretty swag. So I have 2 little pine cone picks. These I just had in my stash and I just want to get rid of them. So this has pine cones, so I'm just going to place these in here just so I can get them out of my box. So I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. We'll find a little spot to place them. So I think I want to tuck one in on the side over here. So let me turn this so you guys can see that. So I tucked it in right there, kind of on the side. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, but up a little bit higher. So I'm just kind of going and filling in the holes, kind of just stuffing it. Let me add a little bit of glue right there. Turn this and show you. So I tucked that one in right there. Okay, Now we're just going to add some greenery. I brought in a bunch of different greenery, but I don't think we're going to need it all. So I brought some of this white, but I think I'm going to save this. Don't think I'm going to use that for this project. I think I'm going to go in with some pieces of this. It's just a pick I had gotten off season, like it was part of the after Christmas sale. I want to say probably Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I don't really know for sure. So I'm just going to take these and just break them down into little pieces. I don't think I'm going to use the red berries because we don't have them anywhere else in this design, so we'll save the berries for something else. There's that piece. This one's being a little difficult. I'm just going to cut these down and use the little pieces all the way around it, just to fill in some of the little spots where it looks like it could use a little filler. And this brings in some different texture of greenery too. I will say this is not the easiest pick to tear apart. Some of them are easier than others. I have two of these, so we'll cut up both of them and use them. This pine cone, we may tuck it in somewhere, so I'll save it, I'll put it to the side. And I don't want these berries, so let me cut these off. I'll let it just pull right off. If you wanted to add the berries, you could. You could add a pop of red in here. I'm going to keep it more neutral. Okay, so we finally got this first one cut up. Now we'll go open. We'll save these berries. I'm not going to save this little pine cone because I have a whole box of pine cones. When I first started cutting all these up, I was like, well, let me save the pine cones. And then I just kept saving them, and now I got a whole box. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these pine cones. I need to come up with some project to use a bunch of pine cones on. Alright, so let's take that one off. We'll set it over here. I should have done this before I started filming, but I want you guys to see, how I do some of this stuff. So you don't want to watch me cut this up, just fast forward. Fast forward a little bit. I made a centerpiece design that has some of these same elements. So when I list this, I'll also mention that I have a matching centerpiece. I think they would look really cute together. The centerpiece has some smaller presents, and it has the same squirrels. It has a deer though in it, like a foam deer. But I think they would look really good together as a set. And I don't want to sell them as a set just in case there's somebody that doesn't want both. But I will mention that there will be both available. So it'd be kind of like a Woodlands theme. I may make a couple more and just have like a section that's Woodlands, like the Woodlands winter Christmas theme. I haven't really done that before, but something I thought about, like doing my shop sections and like themes. The problem for me is storing them all until they sell. Okay, so now we have several pieces. I'm just gonna go and try to tuck in some of these pieces where it looks like we need a little filler. So right here up underneath this pine cone, add a piece. I'm gonna add a piece right. I'm just gonna go around. It's gonna be hard for me to kind of explain where I'm putting it. Just using these little pieces, I'm just kind of mixing them up, and kind of where you see little holes where it looks like we could use a little greenery, that's where I'm at. Like right up underneath where we kind of have that little gap in between the two presents. Add a piece in there. And as we start getting to our transition point, I'm going to start moving my greenery facing up. Let's move some of these. Let's add a piece right up here underneath Mr. Squirrel. Let's add one towards the top. Underneath that pine cone. And then I've got a little hole right underneath this present up here at the top, so I'm just going to put a little piece in there. It's going to kind of stick out, and I will fill in that hole. Let's put one right there. All these, start going down on this side. Go right up under the squirrel. Again, I'm just keeping it in mind which direction I'm doing my greenery. So we went up with it at the top, and then, you know, kind of our transition point all the way down, we're going down with our greenery. Okay. I think we need a piece kind of right in the center here of our little ribbon. Let's see which piece I want to use. Choose this one. We're going to go up underneath our bow, add a piece. Got a couple more pieces left. one little tiny piece. Let's see, maybe right here by the present. Okay, so we've gone all the way around. All the way around, super pretty. We could stop here. I've got a couple of these pine cones. Let's see if we want to tuck these in somewhere. I think maybe one over here by the present. That'll kind of help hide that floral pin. I brought in another greenery, sort of a snowy, it's called a snowy mint bush. I don't know if we're going to use it. It's looking pretty good without it. And of course, the more you add, then the more expensive it gets. But I like more and more. So we might add it. Kind of got a little hole up underneath the gift on this side, so I'm going to add this pine cone. And then if I add a little bit of that other greenery, we can tuck a little bit in there too. Let's look on this side. I'm just going to turn my map because it keeps wanting to move. There we go. Let's tuck that pine cone right there. All right, let me see. I'm gonna hold it up for a second. Let's add a little bit of it. So we have our snowy mint bush. I love to use this one. I used it in a lot of designs last year. It really is good filler, and I love that little pop of snowy greenery that it gives. So we're just going to cut these up, and we're not going to use that. Well, a couple pieces we may use longer at the top and the bottom. So let me leave a few pieces longer. And then we're going to cut some up. We're going to cut them in half, and we can use them like around the sides. Let me get my long pieces in first. Those are some of my shorter pieces. Let's see. My longer pieces. Yeah, I like that right there. Down in between this mesh a little bit. Let me cut this down just a little bit. We have a little bit of mesh showing that I would rather cover up right there. Again, I want the mesh just to be seen just a little. It's more for filler. Don't need a long piece there, so let's go a little shorter. So I'm kind of tucking it in. And again, I'll have some of this that when I hang it up, if it looks like we still need some filler in some spots, then I can just cut up a few more. and add some of this to it as well. As we get to the bottom, again, now I'm starting to go down with my greenery. Okay, let me tuck in a couple of these little smaller pieces, maybe right up underneath the little gift, little present. Let's do one up underneath there. And I'll flip this around in a second so you guys can see. But again, I'm just going around the sides, looking for kind of like some spots where it looks like we could use a little bit of filler. Dip it in my glue pot and then just stick them in there. I think this just gives it a nice little pop. You totally, like I said, I probably say it several times during each of my videos. You can choose where you want to stop at any time. My designs, I just typically kind of go over the top. It's just the way I design. Everybody has their own style. Okay, so this one I'm going to use a little bit longer. Kind of tuck it up underneath the mesh down there. Now we're going to start, now that we're at the bottom, I'm going to use some longer pieces. See how we've just kind of tucked in some of those along the side. It's giving a little bit of that, you know, more of the snowy look to it. Gonna go right down at the bottom. Just lifting its branch up there, tucking it in. Dropped a little piece. You may need, I think I got a hole right there we need to fill in. If you guys make these designs, I'd love to see them. Post pictures in the comments or tag TCT Crafts on your social medias. I love to see what you guys create, even if it's not, you know, exactly the same. But if you've got sort of some inspiration from it, I'd love to see it. This one I need to cut down a little bit. If this is your first time watching, let me know in the comments. I try to respond to the comments. Okay, we're going to go in with our last one, so we're going to use 3 of these. I said we were going to add a little bit, and look what I did. I used all 3 bushes. My bad. I just couldn't stop myself. But anyway, if this is your first time, let me know in the comments. Love to say hi. And we've got, so this is going into my second I think I started doing the YouTube videos last summer, so this will be our second set of Christmas designs. So you can always go check out the channel and look at some of the designs that we did from last year as well. I've got quite a few videos in there now. I'm trying to stay you know, religious in doing them. I don't think I've missed a week since I started. If I have, it was maybe only one. I'm trying to really do good at staying consistent with these. So I'm struggling on this piece because we're kind of at that transition point. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to go sort of, yeah, let's go that way. Almost done. Ow! That was hot. That glue dripped. It's the only thing with using those glue pots. You gotta watch the drip. Okay, I have just a couple pieces left. So I didn't really save any for when I hang it up, so hopefully I don't need any. If I do, I'll just have to get another one, but I'm going to try not to, just so that we can keep the cost down. Because these snowy mint bushes, they're not the cheapest, but they really are so pretty. I wish I'd have a little bit longer piece because I could see we could use one kind of a longer piece maybe right in here, but we're going to try to get away without having another bush. So let me just see if I can tuck in. If I end up getting another bush, I'll just put a note in the video. But right now we're at three of these. Just gonna chuck those in there like that. Maybe we can make it work. Okay, I think we are done, guys. So I will hang this up so you can see a good picture with it all hung up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this winter Woodlands sort of rustic swag design. Until next time, bye guys.